SABC News anchor Mbali Thethani has been out in Alexandra tonight, that's here in Johannesburg, to get the views of people regarding expectations ahead of President Cyril Ramaphosa delivering the State of the Nation address tomorrow evening.
President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the State of the Nation address for 2026 tomorrow evening in Cape Town in Parliament. And to get the views of the people of the city of Johannesburg, we find ourselves this evening coming to you from Alexandra, where we will get some of the expectations from the community leaders within the streets of Alexandra. And first up, I'm going to bring in Babthabo. Babthabo, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Let's start off here. What are your expectations overall when it comes to the State of the Nation address from President Cyril Ramaphosa that will be delivered tomorrow?
Well, thanks, Mbali. Coming to Alexandra, well, my first expectation in Ndaba land and the second part in Ndaba who are fully population Yabanbala, Alexandra. We are very much congested here in Alexandra, and I'm expecting the President to look into what he has promised the people of Alexandra when he was here at the stadium. That is going to build 1 million houses, which of course we are still waiting for those houses. And then we feel very much congested here. Sewer is busting everywhere. There's shortage of so many other things in the community, and which of course I go the whole day explaining about them, and much more on our mandates and recommendations about G20. We spoke about a lot here as a community, and there was no politicians that came to say we did well hosting G20 in Alexandra, and then what were your issues per se, and then how can we follow up on some of the things that were committed to be done by South Africa regarding the issue of G20.
All right, thank you so much. And Osmaki, you find yourself in the area of a small business. Are you keen to hear what the President will say when it comes to businesses?
I would like to hear the President telling us on how he can make it easy for us as businesswomen, how we can access a way of us getting tools that will help our businesses to grow, and help us with a program on how to manage the funds that we make from our businesses and how to invest so that our accounts don't run dry. Then it will be okay.
Thank you so much, Mama. Puti, what would you like to hear from the President when he delivers the State of the Nation address tomorrow?
Yeah, look, I want the President to focus on the Joske River, the pollution that is there, and the people that are back again at Joske River. So Joske River, now people that are building next to the flat line. So I think if maybe the President can prioritize the Joske River, then we will be happy.
Thank you so much. There are a number of issues facing young people in South Africa, a high unemployment rate, people want jobs. What it is as a young person, what do you want to hear from the President tomorrow?
Thank you, Mbali, for the interview. What I actually want to really hear from the President is implementation of actions of employment places whereby abantwana bethu, or as youth, by the way, we can go work, we can go schooling, we can do learning. We want action. We want action. We are tired of the President saying the very same thing every year, saying employment. But then when you look, actually, it is not there. There's nothing, and we are sitting like emakaya. We're done with schools. We cannot even go to schools. As now imali and NSFAS now you sometimes so the best way to do is to have a job, have something, have bread to eat.
All right, thank you so much. Baba, you have an issue when it comes to crime and the high levels of crime that we are faced with as a country. I'm sure you want the President to talk about this and address this tomorrow.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me. The most important thing about the President should address about the crime. If you look at the country as a whole, crime is happening daily and night. But at the end of the day, if the President is not going to deal with the crime, we find ourselves that there is no investment in the country because people are being killed, people are being mugged, especially women during the day, during the night. Because That's the most issue that the president needs to address, especially crime. If there is no crime, then we can say something. But if the crime is happening each and every corner of the country, and then it's a problem for us. But I think tomorrow president must address the nation about the crime, because crime is the most problematic one in the country. I think if the president can say, here's a budget for crime, how are we going to deal with the crime that is concerning the resident of the country, then we will be better than other nations.
All right, thank you so much. Mama, what are your thoughts? What do you want to hear from the president tomorrow?
Thank you, Mbali, for having us. Mina, I would love to hear the president helping us, the women in Alexandra, in business. Like, we're ready with our products, but struggling to get our products into shelves. So if he can address us on that and help us on how to get our products on shelves. And also, the gender-based issue, it's very hard on us. If he can quickly tell us the crisis of gender-based violence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Buti, housing is a major problem, particularly for this area, Alexandra. What do you want to hear from the president tomorrow in his address when he talks about housing?
Tapelo Machaba, by the way, from 108. What I would like to hear from the president is to start with the backlog from 1996. Imagine there are still people who are holding their C forms right now as I'm doing the block by block programs. There are still people who are waiting, hoping. Some are not here, but there are still people hoping for those houses. As Mr. President Ramaphosa promised Alexandra people 1 million houses, there are still people who are still waiting. So please, I would like him to emphasize more, as we all can see that he doesn't have the capacity to build those houses. He can emphasize more on private sectors. We, as the people of Alexandra, we're going to seek help now from the mines, from the private sectors, your SAA. They need to know that before any local campaigns right now that are coming, we need that attention. We need that attention for those people.
Thank you so much. Mimi, there are a number of issues when it comes to infrastructure which affect our daily lives, issues of road infrastructure, issues of potholes, and that seems to be a major thing in our country. What do you want the president to ventilate when it comes to infrastructure problems that we are faced with?
Thank you, Mbali, for having me again. I think the president needs to actually hold his employees accountable when it comes to building infrastructures. I mean, in Alexandra, it's pothole after pothole. We report those cases, we report even those sewer blockages, but nothing happens. But the roads keep on getting potholes after potholes. Even our youth facilities, our youth centers, they're not in a good condition, and our youth is left to roam around the streets because there are no youth centers. And I've said it before that he needs to invest more in youth facilities and youth centers. And now we even have a shortage of schools, of which the Department of Health and Education has been approached to have an alternative plan to build schools. So we need more schools in Alexandra and more youth centers, and all the infrastructures to be redeveloped and revamped and maintained by proper developers, not people who just do a quick job for up until after the elections.
Thank you so much. All right, so we'll continue then to give you some of the last voices here from the people of Alexandra. And Puti, what do you want ventilated in this State of the Nation address from the President?
Mbali, the reality of the situation is that these SONAs are a waste of time. They are nothing but a waste of taxpayers' money. A fruitless and wasteful expenditure. That's what they are. Why? Because the president, every year, he makes promises and they never deliver on those promises. So what some of us would like to see is a situation where the president looks back and says, over the last 5 years, this is what I've promised, and this is what I've delivered on, and in fact, it would be this is what I have not delivered on. But more importantly, he must tell us why it is that they have failed to deliver on past promises, and what the root causes of those failures are, and what they're going to do to correct the situation.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring in our last voice for tonight. Ma'am, if you can just give us an insight in terms of what are the growing pains that you want to see being addressed in the State of the Nation?
Sure. I'm Councillor Joanne Horwitz in the city of Joburg for Ward 81. I think there are three main pain points, and they are these. Firstly, infrastructure. For example, we've had borrowings of almost 5 billion rand in the city of Joburg for water and other infrastructure, and we haven't seen any kind of use of this money. So where's the money going? I think we need to really tighten in on capacities of local government. Then I would also say that housing is a massive, massive point of pain for people. At the moment, there's a housing department locally, provincially and nationally, and we really need to bring them all together under one roof so everybody knows what everybody else is doing, because otherwise it's a hotbed for corruption. And the third pain point is really about jobs and economy. We need to be inclusive of particularly our youth, but also those that are just outside of that youth bracket, and we need to be doing things like building, for example, construction, putting in the infrastructure where we are employing people and helping them with skills delivery so they can then go on and actually make something of themselves. So we need a lot more of hand ups, not hand outs.
Thank you so much. And as you heard it there, these are some of the voices coming out from the streets of Alexandra, hoping that their views and what they've told us here today will be ventilated by the President when he delivers the State of the Nation address at 7 p.m. tomorrow. For SABC News, I'm Mbali Thethani.